Hey guys, welcome back. It is Sunday afternoon and we have survived taxes. All I have to do is submit them to my tax man and I am done. So that's a huge burden that was taken off of my shoulders today. So today I'm going to do something really simple. And when I mean simple, I mean really simple. You don't need a pasta machine. You don't need anything but 2 pieces of clay. And I'm using a white translucent. And I'm going to wrap gold around it. We're just going to make a simple daisy flower that can be used straight up on top of something or on its own. I know I had a few questions, I don't know if it was the last video or two, of somebody that asked, what do you do with the canes after you make them? So I'm hoping to show that today. So I got this strip of gold on the thickest setting. And this is a whole block of, or a whole bag, or whatever you call it, a whole package of white translucent. I'm just going to squish it. I just took it in my hands and I rolled it. Didn't need a pasta machine and that was it. Okay, so we're just going to wrap a big amount of gold. This is the thickest setting I've got. And if I want, I could even go a little more. But I'm debating whether I want to do that or not. So we're just going to trim off the top here. And we're going to run it through at a 1 or at a 0 one more time. I just want to see how thick that would make it. I don't want the outside too thick, but as we reduce, it is going to get a little bit smaller. So I think I'm going to run this through at a number 3 and put that around it. That way we got a nice little border of color. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut me a perfect piece right here. Okay, fine. It just wants to be held up. Okay. Okay, I just missed a couple areas right here, so I'm going to trim off this side and then I'll go to the other side and fill up some of the holes. There we go. That should be what we need right there. Okay, I'm going to try and get this in 8 petals, which is why I use so much translucent. So I'm just going to roll a little bit. And the one thing about not using a pasta machine, using my fingers, is I didn't condition it really well, which is great because it'll be easier to keep the form, I think, of the flower. So I didn't really condition it so that it was really soft, because I want it to hold up. So if I can get it about 8 inches, I will be happy. I'm just hoping I put enough translucent in here. Cane should be a little bigger, but I'm hoping this will work. Such an easy cane, but it's really nice as a background or just to cover some veneer. So you can do it over purple, you can do it over pearl. You put it under a navy or an ultramarine blue, you know, or green, whatever gold looks good with. That's what you can cover with it. Pink and gold is really nice too. Okay, so I'm just going like all my canes. I go about a third, and then I just start squishing towards the ends, and I pull at the same time. So as I'm rolling it, I pull the center. And that way it doesn't seem to give me a whole lot of waste when I do it that way. And at least with this, it's just translucent, so you're not destroying a design or anything like that. Okay, so we're almost there. Just going to do a little bit more on the side here. So yeah, just a little more right here. So this, and we might have a video on Wednesday, but it'll be the last video until next week. I'm going out of town for my birthday this weekend. I don't know where we're going yet. My husband has not made up his mind. We were thinking of driving to Vegas. Then we were thinking of going to Palm Springs. Palm Springs would be only 2 hours. Vegas would be about 3.5. So we have not figured that out yet. But I probably won't be able to video next weekend, so probably not until next Wednesday. Alright, so we're going to do 1 inch. You know me, I like to work at 1.5. But I'm afraid to go a little more because I don't want to make this really small. Because then I have a hard time shaping it. Okay, well, you seriously know how bad your eyes are when you really can't see when you cut. So, okay, so there we go. And that's it. There is your flower. I mean, it's pretty easy. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to push on the ends and make it like a daisy shape. Now, if you notice, it's really hard pushing in the center, and so that's perfect. That's what I wanted it to do. And I'm hoping that it will hold up to my fingers, because you guys know me, I'm very heavy-handed. So with it being a little harder, I'm hoping as I reduce this into one flower, that these ends will, they'll stay the shape I want it. I do great with round flowers, but boy, when I do pointing ones, I always have problems keeping the shape at the end. So don't be surprised if the shape is wonky at the end. Okay, so there's 2. So you pretty much get what I need to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit pause while I do the other 5. And I will be right back. Alright, so we're back. I got a little bit more translucent here, so we can make our little center cane. I was going to do a bullseye, but I thought I'd make it a little more flowery today. So all we're going to do is grab some gold. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the petals. We're just going to wrap translucent with gold. And I did it at the thickest setting, which on my machine is a 0. Hoping this is going to be long enough. But of course it's not. So let me do that one more time. God, I'm so happy I'm done with taxes. I don't know what happened this year, but Everything just got away from me. I just could not focus long enough to concentrate on it. And then trying to get the rest of the figures of stuff that we forgot, that took forever. But we're done, so let's celebrate. Go have a drink for me. Alrighty. So we're going to put this probably about 7 inches. We're going to make 7 pieces. So it's going to be kind of like your little bubble cane in the middle. And I may make that bubble cane into a bubble cane. We'll see. Probably not, though. I might just leave it the way it is. Okay, so we're just going to pull out that a little bit. Okay. Got a lot of gold and translucent to play with. Okay, so now we're just going to make a little flower. Okay. And there you go. That could be another cane. Fill this up with translucent. You got a little nice white round flower. You know what? I could probably cut some of that out and try and make a cane out of that to go with these. We'll see. Okay, so I could either leave this like that in the center, probably a gold center would have worked really well too. I might still do that. So I might make this 6 parts. Let me just see what it looks like as is. Oops. It definitely needs to be pulled a little more. And that would be the center. Okay, we're going to leave it just the way it is, I think. I don't know, have you ever thought about something too much and then... See, that's what it's going to look like in there now. Alright, we're going to go 6 inches. I think either way would look good. I could leave it just like this. I think I want the center to be a little tighter. And we're going 6 on this because we're going to make a piece of gold, which I probably don't need because this is going to get really small, but I'm just going to make it about the same size. And we're going to put that in the middle. Just to make it a little more dense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that's going to be our center. Dogs are about to bark. There's some growling going on out there. You always want to cut with the right side of the blade. Oops, I did not think about cutting this a little bit longer. Alright, so now, yeah, I know it's taller, but that's okay. Because I may end up having to cut it a little more. And I want it to be a tight fit because I don't want to have to use a whole lot of translucent on the outside. So the smaller your centerpiece, will be less space in between. I should have done this on something to where I can hold on to this. Yeah, we're gonna have to go just a little smaller, I think. That's gonna be a lot of translucent put in between there. Okay, we're gonna make this just a tad bit smaller. So it's going to give me a little tighter fit right there. Okay, so this is going to be the toughest part of the flower. It's getting this all nice and packed. Okay, so you want to make sure all your ends are touching that center. Okay, so you're good on this side. Turn it around again. Okay, so now I'm probably going to hit pause again and cut a bunch of this stuff up so we've got a lot of packing to do. So let me go ahead, hit pause, do that, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we are back and we're pretty well packed. So the only thing I'm going to do now is just kind of, I know it looks all bad when you look at it like this, but you got to remember you're looking at the ends. So when you make your canes, don't freak out if everything looks like out of shape. It's just your end pieces. If I were to cut into this, it would probably look a lot better. This has got a lot of space in between the petals, and I don't know why that one's so big. But when you look at it in the whole, it doesn't look too bad. So we're going to come back here, make sure everything is still lined up. Okay. And if I see any holes in here, then I can just start to roll this out. Just fill up some of those spots with some of that. That one looks okay. That one looks a little lower. Actually, the whole side looks a little lower. Couple more pieces here. I might put one strip right there on top. We're also going to put a strip of translucent over the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more right there. stick. Okay, so let me go ahead and throw this through the pasta machine. I just need one long strip. I'm hoping this is all I need. I think I used that whole package. So that was a lot of translucent for this one little flower. That was 2 full packages of translucent. It's amazing how fast it goes. And translucent has not been easy to find. I just picked up some purple, because that was another one I couldn't find. So every week I get online and check and see if any of the good colors are out. I got plenty of white, and with all that blackout clay I got now, I will have plenty of blacks. So we might be doing a lot of monochromic, dropping everything today. We're going to do a lot of black and white beads. How's that? I'm not even going to try and pronounce the word because I have not eaten and I think my sugar's a little low. And that's usually what happens is I can't form words. My daughter was supposed to bring pizza by tonight, and I am not feeling like pizza tonight, but I don't know what to do. But it was a celebration of getting taxes done, so who knows where we're going to end up going. Probably should have done this when I got back, but oh well. I'm really trying to avoid having to open up another pack. Can you tell? So I'm thinking, why not, right? If I just take some of this gold off of here. Yes, this is really extreme. I don't want to have to condition more clay. And although I do have another project that I want to use translucent with, so I'm probably going to have to anyways. But if I'm lucky, this will work. We really don't need a whole lot. All right, let's just see if we were able to do it. It's still the same. Let's try it on a 1. Found a little more translucent. This is getting down to the nitty gritty. I really don't like clay shortages. I really don't. You would think it would have been better by now. It's just I don't understand. I know that they all got backed up. I understand that, but I don't know. I don't know what the process is of making this stuff. So obviously I can't say anything because I just don't know. But I want this at a 0, so I am going to break out some more translucent. So let me go ahead and grab a little more. Oh wait, you know what? I might have some in the drawer underneath me, and look at that, I do. I have a little drawer that I just throw everything in that's been opened, and I never check in there. And then the clay gets really, really hard because I don't check in there forever. So I am really glad I checked. Okay, so this should do it. Now we can go back to our 0 where we wanted it. I think. Alright, so now let's do this one more time. And I'm not really worried about conditioning it too much. I think the less soft it is, the easier it is to do. And since it's all translucent, it should all pull at the same time. Yay, there we go. Okay, so now we can cut this. And then I'm going to pause you guys while I reduce this. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with it. You betcha I'm going to trim this. This I'm not going to waste. Okay, see this right here? There's a little bit right here that's smaller. So we're just going to take this translucent and make it into a little triangle. And I'm just going to stuff that in there. Okay, and that's going to help us a little bit. Okay, so let me go reduce this, guys, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so we are back, and we cut it in half, and then we made one a little smaller, and then we're making it a little smaller, and then one more a little smaller. That way I've got all kinds of different sizes. I work small anyways, and so all of my beads and my veneers have really small elements to them. But I want to keep one big just in case I get the urge to make something bigger. Okay, so I think that's good enough. Okay, so let's cut that in half. And I'll show you what it looks like up close. So this is the small ones. There we go. And then this is the big one. And see, I still had the problem with, I mean, most of these stayed kind of pointy, but it's really hard for me to stay pointy because you've got to put pressure on it regardless in order to reduce it. So it's always going to be squished. Now, if you don't have heavy hands like I do, then you might be able to get away with it. But I just press way too hard. I don't know if it's because I'm impatient or honestly it's the only way to do it. So I'm trying to find some dark blue here. I found a big slab of it here. And actually, we're going to add a little bit of black to this, I think. There's nothing better than like a navy blue background with gold. This way it tones down the blue so it's not quite so bright. And I'm just going to run this through on the pasta machine really quick. And I'll probably make the slab at another 3 since all this is going to be added to it. Okay, we got a nice piece here. Actually, I'm going to relate it to 1. Okay. So there's just a piece of blue. Now it's a dark blue, and this is really, really soft. So if you wonder what to do with clay canes that you make, especially with the translucent, you want to go really thin. Because if you go really thin, you're going to catch some of that background coming through it. So you'll see the blue coming through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple pieces of big ones. I'm going to go thin, but not thin to where you don't get the whole flower. Which is a challenge sometimes for me. Okay, and I'm just laying them everywhere. Gosh darn it. I keep missing one end every time. Okay, so you just got some big ones there. And then just grab some middle sizes right here. Just cut them, put them around. You don't have to lay them to where they're not touching. We'll probably overlap some of these flowers, just for the heck of it. So like that. I'm just going to sit that there. So basically, any way you see it, you can do it. And you're not going to really see how this is going to look until it comes out of the oven. Okay, so now we're just going to add some smaller ones. There's a girl on Etsy, I think her name is Pilar, and she makes wonderful flower canes, but it's the execution of them that always amazes me, because she always puts the perfect color together, and although she just kind of throws it everywhere, you know, she'll layer it, put one over, I don't know, the composition of it's always perfect. I have never seen a bad cane from her. Me, I do have a problem when I go to lay it all out. I'm just not really good at the execution sometimes. So, the canes usually sit because I don't know what to do with them. Okay, so you can leave a little bit of blue, or you can cover it all with just flowers. So we're going to stop right there for now. And we're going to lay these down. And I just use my hand. And the one thing with translucent is you're going to have to really press, because you'll see the outline of it in the blue. So you'll see these little lines right here. That you want to get rid of until it's completely flat. So it takes a little bit of time. So I just keep lifting the paper. I look underneath. But the blue was really soft clay, so this is not taking very long at all. See, so you can leave it like that, or you can get rid of the blue completely. We may just do that. Again, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but let's go for a little smaller one. Sometimes you'll have to burnish it in there a few times and then come back and add some more clay. Like, I don't want to put one right there yet. I'm going to go ahead and burnish it. One thing with the translucent is it really gives the piece a little bit of depth, because you're laying it on the translucent. So you got a little bit of space in between there, so it looks like you're kind of layering over, and it makes it a little bit more three-dimensional. I didn't come in here thinking I was going to cover all of the blue, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. I don't want to use a half one on top. So we're going to do one right there, and I think I'm going to do one big one right there. So we'll put the little one back. Let's see what happens if we put one big one right there. one big one that's one piece. We're just gonna put that right there. Alrighty, so that's probably it. So let's finish this all the way down. I'll put one right there. That's a little thin, so we're going to pull this one out a little bit. Then we got to get a shape. I didn't make a huge veneer. Got a little bit of blue right here, so I don't know why. We're going to do one more big one over here. And again, we're going to stretch it out as thin as we can. I'm going to put that right there. And I got this little area in the back here. Right there. Okay, now we are done. Okay, so we just got a little more to go. Okay, so now I'm going to use the stamp. And what I'm going to try and do is make sure this is all the same height. And then I'm going to turn it over. And we're going to grab our wonderful texture maker. Which I have seemed to misplace. Okay, well, I've got this right here. Just a little sanding pad. Now, I gotta find that texture plate. That's like my favorite texture plate now. So let me go see if I can find that and I'll be right back. Okay, well, guess where I found this? Where it belonged. I lose things so easily. I never look where it's supposed to be. I just look in all the places it's not. Oh boy, it's a silly day today, isn't it? Alright, now we gotta find a cutter for this, and it's not really that big. Let's see, there's a little bit right here that I didn't get. So I'm going to use my fingers on this. Just that little area. Alright. Let's see. I don't think we're going to get a pendant or earrings out of this. Might just get one or the other. Alright, so how about a kite? Kite full of flowers. Okay, let's do the kite. It's just a normal kite shape. And we're just going to get a big, big flower. Like that. Get a little big flower right there as well. Okay. Okay, so again, you're not really going to see what these are going to look like until they come out of the oven. Now, if you notice, whenever you work with translucent, it will crack. Not sure how to avoid that, but I will fix that with sanding. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. Hopefully, when it comes out of the oven, we're going to get some of that blue that comes through. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bake that, and we'll come back later and show you the finished product.